Hello, Capricorn. This is Soul from Intuitive Tarot, here to look at your week ahead starting May 5th, 2025. Capricorn, I hope all is well. Happy Cinco de Mayo to all the Capricorns who are celebrating Cinco de Mayo. Welcome any new subscribers to my channel. I definitely appreciate you. The deck that I am using will be listed in the description box as always. Not reading any reversals. What I'm doing here now is just shuffling the energies, cleansing the energies from doing Sagittarius's messages, and we shall begin with your messages. Okay, so what is coming up here potentially for Capricorn? What does Capricorn has to look forward to this upcoming week? What's the potential energy for Capricorn? Please allow me to speak the truth and make any sense of any cards that show up for Capricorn. Let's see. I guess I didn't want to say this, but I had some Capricorn haters on the other channel, but I don't think they followed me here on the channel. They could have. I don't know. Maybe they just didn't like the readings. But I had quite a few that was always blasting or just disliking the videos. Okay, so let's cut the deck here, Capricorn, and begin your messages. You know, you can't please everybody, right? Can't make everybody happy. Anyway, we're going to start off with the first card for you is the Queen of Wands. So this, for some Capricorns that I'm reading for, could be a very powerful, passionate week for you in terms of, setting your intentions, focusing on something or someone. Normally, that's what the Queen does. And you have to put your self in the Queen's position, sitting on that throne. She's sitting there looking at something that she's about to go after. So that could be, again, a relationship, it could be a job, it could be a career change, but it's very high intense energy. And of course, being a court card, she can be expressing herself in a good, natural nature way, right? And someone I pick up here that the black cat could be, someone who owns a black cat or is about to get one, or there could be the black cat. I have several black cats in my neighborhood and whatnot. Unfortunately, I guess one of the cats um, must have just, died and killed over. It was in front of my garage. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And he was pretty heavy, but he wasn't hit by a car. There was no blood or anything like that. It just seemed like he just laid over and just died. And I didn't know what to do with him. So anyway, yeah, somebody could own a black cat or they see black cats. All right, that's what I'm picking up here from the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands could also rush in a burst of energy here for any Capricorn who is artistic and creative and help you along the way in terms of those pursuits. Up next, now we have the major arcana, the Tower. I think you are the third sign that has received the Tower here. And keep in mind that the Tower, according to some of the comments that I have read before, some some of my subscribers actually want the tower to show up because they feel that the tower works for them in other ways. But it's always the type of energy that is uncontrollable. So, it's always relative to any types of shocks and devastation, destruction. I always advise, since, is following a person here, court card, not to engage in any types of petty arguments or fights, Capricorn, with anybody. It could be coworkers, your boss, your supervisor, whoever, family members, romantic partners. Just don't engage because it always seems to turn out nasty. And I see that, seems like a trend restarting again when it comes to workplace violence. So it could be almost anything. That's why I said don't engage. It's not worth it because you never know what's going on in the mind of another person. So anyway, there still would be energies related to or weather, earthquakes, anything that's, destructive, powerful. Could be anything that's going on with this current administration in terms of execution, with tariffs and, people really feeling the blunt or are about to feel the blunt of these tariffs that he has imposed for whatever reason. Who the hell knows? But anyway, that could be all of that. Um, And I cannot believe, just go off and not really engage in politics, because I try to stay away from that, that these people who voted for him, you know, actually like the shit that he's doing in terms of higher food, costs and stuff like that, and firing a lot of federal workers, and the whole thing with deportation. It's just chaotic. This is the tower. That is the tower expressing its energy. All right, so let's move along. And you know what? I'm not even going to throw a card on the tower. Um, Reason being, because if one card I, happen to select and choose for you, Capricorn, that may not be for, these are just general readings, so it's not going to be for everybody anyway. So I don't want to throw a card on the tower to see why the tower has shown up here and what could be the probable cause. In the past, I have, and, Pentacles showed up. And I said that, usually with the Pentacles and the tower together, you'll hear about businesses closing up. Now, this week, I think it was someone, I don't know, was it this week or last week? Southwest was laying off, or Southwest, was it Southwest Airlines? One of them airlines laying off 1,000. No, UPS. UPS is laying off 20,000 workers. And I mentioned that in last week's readings, who, for whatever sign I don't recall, that we'll hear about companies downsizing, laying off, shutting down, closing up forever, and whatever. Okay, that's the tower. Uncontrollable. All right, so just make sure you're very mindful of not engaging in any types of that type of energy with anyone, seriously, because it could be very dangerous. Up next now, look at this. And then what follows is the Four of Wands. So, explain that. This is a card of happiness here and celebrations of all kinds. Excuse me, Capricorn. I've been sneezing lately. And you know what? Yesterday, I must have sneezed so hard during, I think it was Tarzan's video. I didn't even realize that I must have popped some blood vessels in my eye. I took a nap, woke up, and noticed that my whole freaking right eye was bloodshot, but it was a hard sneeze. Um, so I don't know. Anyway, happiness, celebrations, birthdays, someone getting married, proposals, engagements, definitely someone, possibly moving or relocating to a different area, whether or not it involves any purchases of property or land. Couples who are romantic could be deciding to move in with one another, family members, of course, friends. It's always the shared happiness inside the structure of a building. So this is a very powerful card on its own, even though it's a minor. Up next, that follows is the Six of Cups here, Capricorn, and this is going down memory lane, feeling nostalgic for some of you this week, going back to your childhood memories, thinking of your past. And that could be something that you do on your own, or it could be something that involves you having to be drawn back to that, involving another person. And this person or persons may be living around you now, but you may not have seen them in a long period of time. So that could be a family member, definitely a friend, and anybody that you were linked with romantically. They may reach out to you this week. I always get that energy with the Six of Cups. And, just to show some support and see how you're doing, make up for lost time or whatever. For others, it could be that you're memorializing someone that you were close to or once knew, and they're now over in spirit. And the dates associated with that energy could be May 5th through the 12th or the 13th, and that's involving their passing date or their birth date. Now, mind you, this is just energy that I come up with, okay? All right, so following that, now we have the Four of Cups, socializing, celebrations. Again, it mirrors over here to the Four of Wands. Even number of cups, so on an emotional scale here, Capricorn, it's a give and take. Celebrating birthdays, anniversaries, some of this energy could be taking place at diners or restaurants. Okay, good quality time. Following the Four of Cups, now we have the major arcana of the Sun. Now, I just said in, I don't know whose video it was, that I have recorded here. When the Sun and the Tower are in the spread, I'm going to tell you how I read, if you're not sure. When the Sun in the Tower shows up, and it doesn't have to be, underneath, over top, side by side, or whatever, if it's in the general spread. My predictions are always that we'll hear, okay, somebody famous will pass away during this week's time. Okay, this is someone who is very well known. Now, it could be someone from any capacity. So make sure that you broaden your mind when I say capacity, because it could be a priest, it could be a pope, it could be um, an actor, actress, singer. Okay, but they're well known. It means that people know them in other places of the world. So that's what I'm seeing right off the bat. Also, normally I reserve that energy. Normally I reserve that energy when the star, excuse me, when the star card shows up. And I'm not saying this to clean this up, Capricorn. For some strange reason, when I turned the sun over and I thought of instantly that we'll hear something shocking or devastating about someone famous. See, because the sun is about success, right? So, someone being very, very famous, and then the tower comes into. Normally, that is reserved for the star, but I'm coming up with my own predictions. So we'll see what happens next week. But the sun outside of that connection that I just made is still a very powerful card to have in your spread. It's a card of healing, and the healing can take form for emotional, physical, mental abuse. I always say that you could be the Capricorn, since it is my health card, working in the field industry of health, living in Florida, California, or planning a trip to those two destinations or somewhere else that's warm, sunny, and welcoming. The other positive energies here from the sun reflect the yes answer to any question that you have for yourself. And also, I mentioned, feeling very, very successful, happy, joyous, vibrant. Some of you may go through the week having to do medical exams or checkups. Could be just normal stuff going on. You'll be okay. Laboratory tests, x-rays of all kinds fall underneath the energy of the sun. The sun also comes forward, Capricorn, to offer blessings. Following the major arcana of the sun, now we have the Six of Wands. Again, another card that relates to victory and success. You can attach that victory and success into, almost anything that's going on for you this week. Traveling, maybe for some of you this week, if you are going to travel, you're going to be safe to and from. Otherwise, there could be a force of energy that is very positive that's moving towards you, or you're about to move towards it, especially when it's following the sun. That's a stronger type of energy. Following the Six of Wands, now we have the major arcana of the World card. So with the World card here, we'll hear about worldly events that are shocking and devastating. Okay, so pay attention to that. But also too, the World card. Look at this: World card, Tower, and then boom, the Sun. So the Sun here definitely, I pick up intuitively that we'll hear about someone very famous passing away in any capacity, male or female. The World card here with Tower just generally means that, things are happening throughout the world each and every day. But I think when the Tower shows up, it's the extra added shock, devastation type of feel that we'll hear about. Otherwise, this is always be on the lookout for opportunities, okay? And then also there's a chapter of energy that's ending for you, Capricorn, this week, possibly, and a new chapter is about to open up. The World card also represents relationships of all kind. Major Arcana, the Hermit, is next, and this is for some Capricorns that I'm reading for who just may need to reflect on some things. It sits underneath the Six of Cups. Maybe reflect on your memories from the past and those people that you were close to, maybe the people that you haven't seen for a long period of time, or the people that had already crossed over. The light that he holds is always a presentation of having to achieve uh, some sort of clear understanding and perspective. So if you have to do um, some sort of soul searching this week, then you're going to be doing that, and then having to arrive or come to peace with something. This is usually neutral energy. You're not going to be, if you have to go by or want to be by yourself, it's not going to be that long. This is only short-term temporary energy. And that could be, wanting to catch up reading the book and you want to be by yourself, or in the form of any types of meditation. All right, so the card up next here for you, Capricorn, is Two of Cups here. In this instance where you're juggling two things, some of you could be working two jobs, got two projects going on, could be interested in two people, but it's still a minor imbalance that may be taking place. And oftentimes I get that you could just be, looking through your finances and trying to balance your money out. Additional messages here is the Eight of Pentacles. So this is a stronger energy than the two. Some of you will just be working this week, paying attention to the details of your work. For anyone that I'm reading for, it still could be any types of offerings. Now, that could be employment, or it could be promotions. It also could be a pay raise, bonus money, but also, too, it could be the simple fact that your financial situation is going in the direction that you want it to go. And again, I mentioned, before in previous videos, when the tower shows up and there's pentacles, we're talking about loss of money, right? Job closures. It could be our stock market. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. So that's the Eight of Pentacles, and it's balanced energy, and that too could be, spread out throughout, um, your week and whatnot, in terms of opportunities that may come to you in other respects. Following the Eight of Pentacles here, now we have the Two of Wands. Two of Wands is who you're waiting for, what you're waiting for. My only timing card. So 2 days, 2 week period of time. If this very last card is a movement card, then the wait is over. Okay, it becomes shorter. So you could be waiting for a phone call from someone. You could be waiting for something to arrive in the mail. You could be waiting for a relationship to, pick up some sort of speed. There's some sort of slowness or stagnation happening, in some other area. Two of Wands also too could be for any Capricorn that I'm reading for, in terms of formulating ideals, gathering information for something to do in the future, but you're not ready to execute just yet because you don't have everything that you need. Okay, so that's the waiting type of energy here with the Two of Wands. Last card is the Seven of Pentacles. So again, money looking good. So some of you, like the Eight of Pentacles, you could be paying attention to the work and details that you do this week, but also putting in that grind to get that money. This could be, again, a pay raise, saving up for something greater. Like the Eight of Pentacles, many options, Capricorn, that could be opening up for you. So, make sure your focus is not on this tower. Focus on the good things that are surrounding this tower. The sun is definitely going to take down the energy of the tower somewhat. And then the World card as well. The Hermit card I just leave as neutral, not having any types of influence over the tower, but the sun definitely will. Oh, did I mention power outages? Not only did I pick up that, we might hear someone famous this time. I'm curious myself because I generally reserve that for the star card, but I picked it up almost immediately, intuitively. But power outages, power losses, there could be any types of equipment damage, like computer failures, technical issues. Now, I know we're not in Mercury retrograde. If we are, somebody please let me know. But I think we just passed a retrograde. And now, Mercury is moving forward, but still I get the energy that someone could be having difficulty with, possible devices, blackouts, loss of power, and so forth. All right, so this is what I have for you, Capricorn. Always remember, it's just me interpreting these messages for you. Take what's going to work for you. Leave the rest alone. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Have a safe, great week ahead. Always throw in that extra word of caution when the tower is present in your spread. And just remain smiling. All's going to work out well, and I'll talk to you soon. Ciao.